Iguodala claimed by the Heat.
Uh-oh, you're stirring it up tonight, aren't you? We haven't gotten into a minute of play.
It's just a basketball game. Payton. Gary Payton putting the Heat on top.
You know, if there's anybody who benefited from the coaching change right away, it would be Payton. Payton looks younger, moving quicker, and more involved. Dallenberg.
Yeah, nicely done as Samuel Dallenberg, averaging better than 7.5, gets his first two. The 76ers among the top scoring teams in the league. In fact, they are second offensively, averaging 102 points a game. Udonis Haslem.
Well, Cheeks told us before the ball game, we'll gamble and give Udonis Haslem that shot. We want to try to front Shaq and then have the help come over. That was Weber's man, and they paid.
Dallenberg again. And Haslem with the Heat rebound. They throw ahead, trying to score quickly with Shaq. And on a pass out to the perimeter, a whistle, a foul on Korver. First foul of the game, whistle against the 76ers. Philadelphia, with their 4 straight victories, have moved back to the top in the Atlantic Division.
You know, that's a very volatile position for Philadelphia. You know, and the entire Atlantic Division seems to be struggling. So if you get a good roll, you have a chance to take control. Dallenberg trying to slap that one back, gets the goaltend.
And Shaq gets 2. As the Heat now with a 4-point lead.
Shaq, if you let him get that deep, and no matter how well you elevate and react, you're going to end up seeing the ball go against you more time than you're going to get the block shot. Weber.
On a feed from Iverson. C. Webb delivers. Allen Iverson with the assist, and in that statistical category, Iverson way up in the top 10, 6th in that regard. Ooh, Wade, beautifully done. Dwayne Wade seems to do that a lot. You know, you'll be talking about different players on each side of the ball, and then all of a sudden there's Wade reminding you, hey, I'm still out here.
Well, you know, Wade kind of took a back role in the first Chicago game for O'Neal back, and they dominated. Shaquille dominated the scoring, but in Milwaukee it was Dwayne Wade and Gary Payton, and a lot of this from Dwayne Wade as he threw that one down. Tough to deal with Dwayne Wade because he is so aggressive and coming to the rim, and you see he's third in dunks.
Most of them in spectacular fashion. That foul was on Iguodala. That's his first. And Dwayne Wade averaging just under 27 points a game and shooting in the high 70s from the free throw line. Speaking of free throws, these two guys, Iverson and Wade, get there a lot.
When they come with the energy and the attitude of attacking the rim as much as they do, it's tough, real tough to keep them off the free throw line.
Quick start by the Heat.
And if you want to get big numbers in the NBA, you got to be somebody that gets a lot of free throws. If you don't get numbers at the line, you don't get numbers.
C. Webb. Dallenberg with the offensive rebound. Iverson slashing and scoring.
You know what he said on the way by? Shaq, get this.
And Weber steals as the Sixers were putting on some pressure. Korver missing for 3. And on the follow, Iguodala is fouled and will get to the free throw line. The Heat careless with the inbounds.
Well, the fans here all on their feet because what they want to see the Sixers do is give them better defensive energy and rebound the basketball. And we saw it.
That foul on Wade, his first. Iguodala with his first point tonight.
And we saw it, and Riley saw it, and that got Riley up. He had not been patrolling the sidelines, but he's walking now.
He's also lost his voice after 2 games.
Well, you know, when
he's
you're
not quite in game shape yet.
Well, yeah, he's got some conditioning to do. But when you're the president, you're sitting up in the booth. You don't yell and scream plays much.
Payton, shot clock at 13 for the Heat. This is Posey. Now they're down to 6. Udonis Haslem on the miss. And it's out of bounds to Miami.
Well, Coach Cheeks will live with that. You've got two guys going after the ball. You'd rather see that than neither one of them chase it and the Miami Heat get a second possession.
Posey looking for the inbounds pass, and he fires outside to Payton. D. Wade.
A little bit of a zone by the Sixers to see if Posey makes him pay, and he does.
James Posey's first points tonight. He's their leading shooter from three-point range at .447 and just out of the top 10 in the NBA in that regard. Korver for three.
What has changed since Riley has taken over is that out of transition, in transition, the Miami Heat are a more aggressive team, particularly the guards. They run more. They try to get that early shot. Shaq.
Oh, yeah. Shaquille O'Neal off the glass. Shaq with 4. As the Heat move out to a 6-point advantage. Payton guarding Iverson. And Miami shooting 6 of 7 from the field so far. Iguodala turns it over.
Looking for a lob.
And he lobbed over Posey. Saved by Wade, but the Sixers in transition. Tipped up Iguodala. Three steals by the 76ers already, and 6:48 left in the quarter as Dwayne Wade gets knocked down. That's a familiar sight.
You know, a coach knows who his many players are when they get knocked down, and he immediately runs out on the floor. We'll look back at a catch, but that's all it was for Dwayne Wade. Iverson on the quick effort down the floor, he couldn't quite get the spin on it that he wanted.
Samuel Dallenberg called for the foul. The first foul on Dallenberg as Wade rattles the free throw. 2 for 3 from the line. Tomorrow on NBA TV, the Pacers and Knicks. The coverage starts at 7 on TNT's doubleheader Thursday. The Cavs and Bulls from Chicago also on ESPN Radio, followed by Dallas at Sacramento. Coverage at 8 o'clock on TNT Thursday.
If there is a similarity between Iverson and Wade in terms of their competitive spirit, they hit the floor a lot. They bounce back up. They just continue to challenge, and that's what makes them so difficult. When he'll run in and out on the floor early. This is when he likes to get the ball early down in the post.
And he's operating down there. The shot won't go for him this time. The rebound is out of bounds to Philadelphia. The 76ers have put together a 9-4 record here in the Wachovia Center for Maurice Cheeks in his first year back here. And he's got Moses Malone back helping in the coaching with the 76ers, the former great star of the 76ers and the former ABA star. There's a look at Mo.
Legendary.
And so we have at least 2 former outstanding players from the ABA. We have Moses Malone there, and of course I have Steve Snapper Jones right here with me.
You know, you want to stir up some mess today, don't you? You really want to do it. I mean, you must have gotten a tremendous nap this afternoon. Iverson got hit on that when he's continuing to come at the Miami Heat defense, Shaq or no Shaq.
That foul called on Payton. The first foul on Payton. Iverson's field goal percentage this year, 45%, and this for a guy who has a career percentage of .418. So he has really lifted that. He leads the league in scoring. Kobe Bryant second. There you see Dwayne Wade at the bottom of that short list. Gary Payton. Udonis Haslem takes up slack and then goes to O'Neal.
They missed Shaq in his favorite spot, which was right at the front of the rim, and now he's working against the clock.
Tell you, Shaq off to a good start. 6 points for him. We asked Pat Riley before the game, because Shaq is just working his way back, if he had any kind of minutes limitation. He said, about 25 to 30.
The one thing that Dwayne does is attack and relentless in his old attitude about it. And Allen Iverson just couldn't get quite enough on it, but Iguodala is always following.
For 6 weeks, I tried to convince him to stay on. Period. That's it. I don't like change. I don't like a lack of continuity. I think he was the best man for the job. You know, I mean, there's always change during the off season, but during the season, I don't like this kind of change.
And it was during the off season when rumors first surfaced that Miami was going to make the change and Pat Riley was going to step in and replace Stan Van Gundy. And at the press conference on Tuesday, the question came up again.
And his answer was, I don't like change, but change is part of life and it's part of professional sport. He was the president of the Miami Heat. He felt that they weren't playing at the level that he thought they should play. He's the guy that went out and made that big deal that started the summer off for the Miami Heat, and the players weren't performing at their level, Shaq or no Shaq. So Riley's in the hot seat, and we'll see if he can carry it through, as Dwayne Wade and company were within a game of going to the NBA championship a year ago. Wade on
with
the move.
Wade drawing the foul here off penetration. And regarding that game going to the possible finals, Wade was hurt. He got hurt in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Shaq, of course, never really recovered from that deep thigh bruise which he sustained on the final Sunday of the regular season.
You know, so they had the makeup. They really believe they have the makeup to get to the NBA championship. They've got a lot of work to get there because those Detroit Pistons are motivated to show that this is not a team that is a one-trip wonder. You know, winners a year ago, 2 years ago, and then runners-up last season. Detroit is playing terrific at this stage of the season.
Last 5 games, Wade averaging 30 points a game. You saw the change that the 76ers made. Salmons is in and Iguodala out. Wade way short with that second free throw. But the Heat with their biggest lead with this 19-11 score.
What John Salmons can do that Iguodala can't do is make his own way. He can make his own shot, so he can go one-on-one. They try to force it inside and they turn it over.
As Shaq got a hand on that pass. Posey looking for the big man. He's got him.
Well, this is not a good situation for D'Alembert.
And that's why. He was under a severe Shaq attack. That's 8 points for the big man.
If you let him catch it against the reed-thin D'Alembert, you're gonna get him punished, and you're gonna get the scoreboard punished as well. Iverson with a miss.
And on the rebound, Wade got knocked down, but still controls it. Gary Payton looks over to Riley for a play.
And see, they started the ball game fronting Shaq, and now Weber's got the job of trying to defend against him. Posey wide open.
So's Payton. And on the rebound, a foul call. It's on Miami, and it's whistled against Udonis Haslem. 14 fouls as Haslem has his first.
Riley points to Posey and says, you got to drop that shot. You know, don't pass up that shot when we end up with the same thing. You might be shooting a better percentage.
The Sixers are not shooting very well from the field, and especially their top 2 guys.
Their 2 stars are 1 for 5. It's early in the ball game. They provide the majority of their offense, so they're going to get a volume of shots. Iverson
with his 6th attempt, and that one goes down. AI with 5.
It's an 8-point lead for the Miami Heat, and you know, one of the things they're going to do to Philadelphia is see how they can deal with Shaq. So Riley loves to see the ball posted, and then they play out of it. They're looking for Shaq right now.
They find Haslem.
That was not a good decision by Haslem. This was a better one.
They're down to 2 to shoot, and Udonis Haslem bails them out.
He got Shaq the ball right under the bucket, and Shaq is pointing to Haslem saying it was his fault. Yeah, you got to catch those, big guy.
Salmons with 12 on the shot clock, overshoots the rim, and O'Neal gets it out to Payton, and the Heat in transition looking for a turnover, and a jump ball is called, and should they lose the tap, they'll get a turnover. Timeout taken. 2:54 for the quarter. Cheesesteak, Senor Jones. All right, John. Snapper. Ron Artest lets it be known he wants to be traded. Immediately, his trade value goes down because, you know, teams that are interested aren't going to want to give Indiana the kind of people they want because they know the Pacers are now having to move him.
Well, Artest stepped in it, and he is the guy that made the initial statement. Donnie Walsh is countered by saying, yes, there's been too much baggage, we'll send you, and they will make the trade on their terms. Doesn't make any difference what they think the trade value is supposed to be. The Indiana Pacers are not going to give Ron Artest away, and I think the statement of putting on the inactive list if they have to and let him sit out another season is true to that.
Dwayne Wade attacking again. The Heat now playing with Shaq on the bench as Alonzo Mourning has entered the lineup. Biggest lead for Miami.
Where the 76ers have to improve to stay in this game is at this end of the floor. They've got to do a better job of knocking down the shots, driving the ball to the basket. So far, that hasn't happened. Turnover.
Gary Payton unable to get to the loose ball. Iverson a recovery. They're down to 2 on the shot clock. AI got rim, but no more, and Alonzo Mourning the rebound. Wade again in the paint.
Oh my, coming at you 3 different directions and still able to elevate and drop that one in.
And that'll dislocate your ankles, right? You've been trying to defend Dwayne Wade. Wade has 10. Great shooting by Miami and a 14-point lead, their biggest.
Somehow they've got to start getting Weber involved, get him going and get an illegal defense, so a cheap point's going to come there.
With more on the Ron Artest situation, here's Lisa Salters.
Well, guys.
Paljon merkittävämpi vielä. Näin esimerkiksi tämä nykyaikainen palkkiometsästys. Minä vähän pelkään, että
and I got a guy that's always stirring up stuff sitting next to me.
Excuse me. Antoine Walker in the game for the first time for Miami as Iverson drives and scores the basket, good, and a foul.
But if they're to get back in this game, Iverson and Weber are going to have to lead the way. Iverson looks like he nicked up his hand on the play, but the one thing about Iverson, he's got crazy toughness. He is going to come at you and continue to come at you, and eventually he's going to get on top of who's ever trying to defend him. Weber out of the ball game.
Shavlik Randolph in to replace him, number 42, and committing that foul for Miami was Gerald Fitch, 6'3" rookie from Kentucky.
You know, some guys are beneficiary of coaching changes, and Fitch is one of them. Fitch was seeing no time with Stan Van Gundy, and since Roddy's come on board, he has been in all of the ball games, making an appearance. Iverson missed the chance for the three-point play.
The Heat lead at 11. Less than a minute 30 for the quarter. Wade trying for the pass off to a cutting Mourning, and the Sixers back the other way. Iverson fouled again, going to the rim.
You know how outfielders go back for fly balls when they initially hear the sound, and this is what you have to do against Allen Iverson. You have to run back and decide where you can build your wall of defense while he is coming at you full tilt. Dwayne Wade has the same kind of relentless attitude. I think Wade's a little bit better at changing directions, you know, while he's moving. It looks a lot like a running back. Short again.
Iverson now 1 for 3 from the line in the early going. The 76ers made another change. They've got Kevin Ollie, number 12, into the lineup, and Miami coming back with yet another change. Jason Capono enters the game, and Posey goes out.
Well, one three-point shooter for another. Capono is a very good spot-up jump shooter, as well as James Posey. Posey's a little bit better at the defensive end. Iverson 1 of 2.
And 2 of 5 so far in the game. Fitch. Wade trying to bail out with a pass at the end, and they're up against it, 8 to shoot. That's a three by Fitch. And Miami already with 30 points on the board. The 76ers allow 102 almost. They score that and they give up that. Salmons. Ollie.
Well, somebody's got to come in and give them a little bit of relief. Kevin Ollie hits his first bucket. Ollie is a noted defensive stopper, a guy that can turn the ball over. So let's see if Iverson and Ollie, the combination, start forcing some turnovers in the backcourt. Here comes Fitch.
Has the shot blocked by Dallenberg. Now Ollie on the push. Iverson. They have lost their 2-for-1 situation as Iverson went in the air. They say the ball was deflected by Capono. The basket's good and the foul.
He has been holding that hand since the one drive, so he's obviously got some sort of problem with his left thumb, but he is not going to stop attacking. Once he saw Capono on him, his idea was to get that ball up somehow, and he managed to get it up and down and a chance for another three-point play.
Iverson at 79%
Short again.
from the foul line.
He has missed them all the same way. And the fans want to know, Ivy, what's wrong with you? You don't miss that bad.
And we were talking about how well he's been shooting the ball this year. Final seconds of the quarter. Dwayne Wade. Wade gives it up. And Fitch rattles a three out at the buzzer. Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat off to another good start here tonight, as they have shot the ball extremely well, hitting 12 out of 17. Spread some holiday cheer yesterday, hosting 15 children from the Community Education Alliance of West Philadelphia. AI treated them to cookies and milk and delivered gifts for the kids to enjoy. Just another example of how the NBA cares. Finish your Christmas shopping yet?
No. But usually my day is the 23rd or the 24th, so I got plenty of time.
Of course, you'll be working now Christmas Day.
Oh, you want to remind me of that?
Allen Iverson with 10. We both will be working Christmas Day.
So Wade, Capono, Fitch, Walker, and Mourning are out on the floor as the 76ers counter with a little full court pressure and a little zone full court. They come back inside to Wade.
Overshoots the rim. Alonzo Mourning there for the rebound. 8 to shoot because the Wade shot didn't hit the rim. Fitch has been effective. He's got 5 points off the bench, and that's the most he has scored so far in his rookie season. Salmons.
Where the 76ers have to get going is with Weber and Iverson. And the combination of Wade and O'Neal have counted for 15 of the Heat's last 18, and now 20 points.
And where the Sixers also have to get going is on the glass. They were totally dominated in that first quarter. Wade draws contact and will shoot 2. First foul on Salmons.
One thing that Weber has always had and been very difficult to deal with is that jump hook, and when he decides he's going to use that as one of his weapons to get into the paint, he's going to get not only some scoring, but he's going to get to the free throw line.
Dwayne Wade 5 of 7 from the line with that hit. Don't forget, coming up, game 2 of our doubleheader as Shaquille O'Neal returns for the Heat. It'll be Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jamison, and the Wizards in Los Angeles to take on Kobe Bryant and the surging Los Angeles Lakers, who had a great road trip.
Why are you elbowing me when you say surging Lakers? You knew this was a book trip, and that if they read the books that Phil gave them, they would be fine. Iverson's going in. They're going to check that thumb out. Kyle Korver has replaced him.
So Philadelphia down 11 after the Wade free throws. Salmons against Wade, and Shaq is there. The foul on O'Neal is his second.
And O'Neal just came in the ball game, and we'll see how long Riley lets him play with 2. In the Miami game, he got in foul trouble early. Wade coming out of the ball game, Shandon Anderson going in. But we'll try to get an update on the Iverson situation as he left the court.
Salmons with the first of 2 free throws. 74% from the line on the season coming in.
Salmons
is his first point tonight.
Is a player that really hasn't played that much in his early part of his career. He's been on the Sixers team for 3 years, but his first 2 seasons did not get a lot of playing time, but he is an offensive talent, and Mo Cheek's trying to bring him to the front.
Philly was pressuring that time. Miami with 12 on the shot clock have it to the big guy as O'Neal rolls in on Weber. Shaq with lift and a slam. That's 10 points for O'Neal.
Well, Weber tried to deal with him initially, and then Shaq spun baseline and a little pop over the top.
We got in that conversation with Pat Riley before the game about Shaq and losing weight, and he says, no, it's not so much that, is that I want him to be in optimum shape.
Well, he wants all his players.
He may not have to lose weight to get there.
Yeah, he wants all of his players to be in their optimum condition as Shaq comes in again. Left that one short. And there's a conditioning issue right there. So when he gets in that close and leaves him short, you know he's not right where he wants to be. Kevin Ollie.
How about Ollie off penetration? And in the collision, the foul against the Heat. Ollie on the line. Jason Capono called for the foul. That's 2 fouls on him.
Well, Iverson comes back out on the floor, but the one thing that Shaq likes to do in this close, a quick spin, then he's just going to elevate up. Chevrolet Randolph, you can't get that.
and Shaq was saying to him, perhaps, you can't touch this.
Oh.
Randolph goes out. They've got Dallenberg, Weber, Salmons, Korver, and Ollie drops the free throws.
You know, this is a 9-point game at this point, and what the 76ers want to do is find a way to slow down Shaq inside. And, you know, you let him catch it at point-blank range, you're going to get bad things happening to you. O'Neal again over the top.
And that time it almost looked like the Shaquille logo. 13 to shoot. Anderson defending on Salmons.
Watch out.
Dallenberg.
Nice exchange between Salmons and Dallenberg.
So after trailing by 14, the Sixers back to within 9. They have closed to within 9 a number of times here in the second quarter. Antoine Walker sends it inside. And the Sixers send it away. Salmons, yep, and a foul. Anderson called for the foul. That's his first. Salmons with a chance at a 3-point play.
If you don't guard the guy with the ball, the result is you can be scored on.
All right, John. Well, Shaquille O'Neal has scored 12. Allen Iverson with 10, but he's nursing a wrist injury. But we now show you power basketball at its best.
Yeah, you know, Riley always had the one play for Kareem, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, where you went through the center. With this guy, position is everything. And if you allow Shaquille O'Neal to get this deep, bad things happen. Nightmarish effort for the defense of the Philadelphia 76ers. So Shaq with 2 fouls, and he is lathered up. I mean, he is beaded and sweating like crazy. Let's go to Lisa Salters.
Iverson on the bench. The results of his x-rays are negative. They are now saying, the athletic trainer, that he has a left thumb sprain. X-rays are negative for a fracture. Back to you guys.
That's good news.
All right. But he has been back on the bench for a while they were waiting the reading of those x-rays. After trailing by 14, the Sixers have cut it in half.
They're trying to front Shaq, and Shannon Anderson couldn't find Walker.
Couldn't wait to unload on that three, and Antoine Walker with his first points tonight.
You know, I finally figured out why Antoine Walker shoots so many left and right wide basketballs. I watched him during his warm-up as we watched John Solomons and Weber connect or not connect.
And you watched him in warm-ups, and you observed him.
He doesn't get his legs into most of his shots, so he is a guy that shoots with his arm, and when you get fatigued, you have no control of your, you don't have a consistent release point, and you have no control of the shot.
Coach Steve Jones with another nightly tip here on our ESPN telecast, and Capono comes up with a steal.
Look at Fitch.
Look at Anderson.
And that is what's hurting the Philadelphia 76ers. Too many unguarded efforts. They got to dig in defensively.
Sixers down to 12 on the shot clock. D'Alembert left open.
Dared it.
Now, he was wide right.
Yeah, I mean, he shot it all with his arms. I mean, you know, the engine in shooting is really coming from the legs. If you don't drive with your legs, and if you can't be consistent in where you release the ball, you're not going to be a good perimeter player. Fitch is tempted. And why not?
Yeah, that's his second three-pointer. 8 points for Fitch.
You know, they don't waste any time here. We got the Blues already.
Well, that's the biggest lead for Miami in the game. And a timeout taken. 8 straight points by the Heat. And a 46-31 lead for the Heat, looking for their 4th consecutive victory. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Well, Wilt Chamberlain, on this date, December 16, 1961, began a string of 7 straight games, 50 or more points with the Philadelphia Warriors.
Yeah, the Chamberlain offensive records are staggering when you look at the book. One thing you'll notice from looking at the old video is that it was one-on-one. The question that all guys will say now is, could he have done it with the defenses of today? Great players do great things, and if we could bring back the Big Dipper, we would see maybe another stretch like this.
And he capped it with a 60 against the Lakers in late December during that run.
Iverson back out on the floor. Iguodala back out on the floor. Weber, Korver, and D'Alembert remain, and they've got to get some offense going. Here comes Iverson.
Oh. Blocked by O'Neal. Iverson gets it with 7 to shoot. AI is relentless. Got tripped up on the way in, but the call is simply out of bounds to Miami.
And Shaq wanted to reintroduce himself to AI and slap that one back as he did to start the ball game. But Iverson is going to continue to challenge. Payton back out on the floor.
Antoine Walker, D'Alembert has picked him up. That means a mismatch underneath. Shaq is fouled, and 2 shots coming for O'Neal.
One thing you can do to help the guys that are playing defense against O'Neal is to try to smother that pass or get all over him and make it difficult to find him. But he's right there, point blank range. There's nothing you're going to do with him other than foul him or get it thrown down on you if you let him get in there. Now, this is when the fun begins. 52%
from the line.
What?
Oh. Wait, I think I know what the problem is.
What?
He's not getting his legs into his shot.
Nor does he have the same release.
Now, what do they pay for a coach? And now, right there, he's dead center. Shaq with 13.
It's not what you pay for the coach. It's whether the student is receptive. The principles of shooting, they are as old as basketball, but if you don't adhere to them, it doesn't matter.
It's D'Alembert on the fade. D'Alembert with 6, but Miami still comfortably in front.
You know, players are constantly trying to reinvent the game and try to say that it's new basketball versus old basketball. Shaq, again.
The Sixers thought they had that one broken up. They had fronted O'Neal with D'Alembert, who tipped it away, but they couldn't claim the loose ball.
So with 5:49 to go, what Iverson and company have to do is try to score the ball and then slow down the Miami Heat. The Heat have been able to do whatever they wanted. They're shooting over 60% here for the first half of play. D'Alembert
on the feed from Korver. Yep, and a foul. And D'Alembert with a chance at a three-point play. Anderson called for the foul. That is his second.
Last year, D'Alembert showed that he's beginning to get it. He's a big, mobile, quick, big man that can do a lot of things. And so his activity is what gives him chances to score at the offensive end. He can block shots. So what they like to do is try to keep him out of foul trouble and let him build on his game and his confidence. Three-point play.
9 points in the game, and his season high is 13. You saw Shandon Anderson on the bench, 2 fouls on him, but it was time for Wade to come back anyway. 5:28 left in the half.
Yeah, that's a bad trade-off.
Yeah, right.
Capono.
Oh yeah, Capono off a nice catch and shoot. The first points for Capono. And Miami back to a 15-point lead.
The bench has been doing it for the Miami Heat. Korver trying to find his first hoop, haven't found it yet.
O'Neal clears. About 5 minutes for the half.
Watch out.
Walker with a throw ahead to Wade as the Sixers pick it off. Iguodala. And a foul. The basket is good by Weber.
Defensively, they make a great read on the transition, and they're able to keep that ball from getting to Dwayne Wade, and then they turn it into an easy bucket with some very good passing. And Capono, if you're going to grab him, you better grab him. Don't just ride him.
That's the third foul on Capono. He's out of the game as James Posey returns with a little less than 5 minutes for the half. O'Neal the rebound on the Weber miss.
And Sixers having trouble completing those three-point plays as well.
Philadelphia, though, one of the better free throw shooting clubs as a team. Just under 78%. But that's a clean block by D'Alembert against O'Neal. Iguodala. The Miami lead down to 11.
Watch out. Block that. You want to block something, come and get this. Has everybody behind us. Woo!
The Wachovia Center still buzzing on that move by Wade. It's 12 to shoot as Iverson drops in 2. 12 points for Allen Iverson, his first in the second quarter.
And if you're a Sixer fan, you want to see this game get down into the 4 or 5 point range, trying another lob inside to the incredible Dwayne Wade, but he couldn't quite catch it.
Iverson coming back. Miami a man short. Korver missing for 3. Shaq the rebound.
You know, Korver has these stretches where he can't find the rhythm, and he gets a little bit quick with this shot. Posey.
On a feed from Walker, it's a 3 for James Posey, his second three-pointer.
Oh, the crowd not happy with the defense. They let the Sixers know it. Back up to 14.
Iverson penetrates and then turns it over. Way to steal. Walker in transition. And the finger roll dances home for Antoine Walker. A 16-point lead for Miami, their biggest. 3 minutes left in the half.
Well, you know what Philadelphia has to do is try to build on the things that they've done well, and every time they do something well, then they compound it and turn it over.
There's a foul called on Miami. Off the ball. Free throws when we come back with 2:55 left. 70% shooting for the Heat.
D'Alembert goes and takes that one away from Shaquille O'Neal, but he's not going to get this one away from Wade. The Miami Heat or any other NBA team can be a great three-point shooting team if they're unguarded and wide open. Most guys are pretty good at spotting up, and the Miami Heat have collapsed the defense of the 76ers, and sometimes you have a week or so to decide whether you want to take the shot, but they're knocking down the threes. Posey hits the last one, and Cheeks is concerned about their defensive attitude. If they're in the zone, everybody's got to know they're in the zone, and then they've got to get back and cover the shooters. And you look at that field goal percentage from deep.
And how about overall? Overall, 697 for the game for the Heat, including 7 of their last 8. Weber has scored 8.
Well, the good news is Shaq gets a seat, and that means that Alonzo Mourning's back in the game. Walker's down as well. Udonis Haslem back in. So some relief for the Sixers in terms of the offensive pressure. Shaq inside, and while he's on the bench, then Iverson and company need to be able to make some inroads defensively. Make this team shoot over the top under some pressure and rebound the ball.
That's Posey, and it's another 3. 6 of 9 for the Heat from three-point range.
The key is under pressure.
And that's the biggest lead of the game. 3 threes for Posey of the 6 made. Weber finding Iverson.
You know, what Iverson and company have to do is weather the storm. They got 24 minutes to get back into this ball game. They got to find a way to do that.
And it's at this end where they really need their improvement. At the defensive end. Dwayne Wade.
2 minutes.
Udonis Haslem missing. Iverson picked up by Payton.
The fans are all over Kyle Korver. They're saying, make a shot sometime. He hasn't made anything tonight. Ask him for a shot here.
And it's a 3 if it goes. He's got it. That's the one he was looking for. Kyle Korver heard from for the first time tonight.
There's one thing about these fans here in Philadelphia. They will share their dislike with what you're doing in a second. So as happy as they can be, they can also be unhappy almost in the same breath.
Mourning kept it alive for Miami. And now Alonzo against D'Alembert, and the foul on D'Alembert. That's 2 fouls on D'Alembert.
And we're going to see Stephen Hunter for the first time, but you know, you've got 2 brutes D'Alembert has to deal with. One is Shaq, and that's enough, and then you get Alonzo Mourning, who is a punishing player himself, and the right arm, they say, pushed off. I got to do something. Guys are just backing the train up and knocking me down.
Salmon's also returning for the 76ers. 1:10 for the half. Posey against Korver. Payton.
Why not, he said. Everybody else is making threes. I may as well take a crack at one.
Loose ball foul on Haslem. 2 fouls on Haslem.
And as bad as it feels, when you look up at the scoreboard, 1:01 left in the first half of play. Weber has a chance to make it a 10-point game. If they can keep the Heat from scoring, they're back down to 8 as Shaq looks on.
And remember, they were down by 17 before this 5-point spurt by the Sixers. D'Alembert on the line. And has his 10th point tonight.
That's Weber.
Now Weber on the line, and as Weber dropped the free throw in, that gives him 4 for 5. And back to the bench goes Udonis Haslem.
I'm sure glad I didn't make that mistaken identity, because I would hear for it all night.
And that is still Weber. He's 5 of 6.
8 1/4 for Weber.
And 53 seconds left in the half.
Trying to come to Mourning.
They go back into Mourning. 6 on the clock. Walker collects the rebound. And Miami keeps it alive, and now they've got a fresh 24 as they take it back out.
Well, Walker really did make a big effort to try to keep that ball alive and got it. Now he's trying to get a score. Wade got it.
Dwayne Wade picking it up underneath. An opportunistic basket for Wade. 16 points for him.
Here's a question, because he plays so well off the ground. Do you think that Wade was great in marbles as a kid?
I think he was probably great at whatever endeavor he found himself involved in. Iverson. Oh. And Mourning takes it out with a second left. The Heat unable to get a shot away as time runs out, but Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne, you said before the game that having Shaquille O'Neal back on the floor takes the pressure off of you. How did that first half from the big fella, 15 points, prove your point?
It did as well. You know, we established our low post game early. He got some easy buckets, some dunks, and then it opened everything up for all of us.
And how does that open up your game?
You know, when a big fella's scoring, the attention goes to him, and it shifts away from me some. So I get an opportunity to penetrate, you know, get my guys going, then I get to attack myself.
Good luck the second half.
Thank you.
And welcome back to the Wachovia Center. The Miami Heat have led this game wire to wire so far, up by as many as 17, and now up by 12. Jim Durham with Steve Snapper Jones, and it has been the Shaq and Flash show in the first half.
Yeah, the stars of the Miami Heat have dominated the game at the offensive end, and Dwayne Wade has been moving fluidly, coming at you from a lot of different directions, playing with power and authority. And if you give Wade room, you know, he's going to score. Shaq has been able to get the low post position, and that is where he's hurt the 76ers. They've got to somehow get him out of the paint and make him work a little bit harder for those shots. Their efficiency is outstanding. 5 of 7 for Wade, 7 of 11 for Shaq, and those are telling numbers.
Before we start the third quarter, let's go to Lisa Salters.
Well, guys, Maurice Cheek said that he told his team at halftime that what is disappointing him the most is that they are getting crushed on the boards. Of course, it doesn't help that the Heat is shooting 62% from the field right now, but Cheek said we have our opportunities. We bring out rebounded by 16 boards, and that's got to change.
And what's interesting about that, Snapper, is we see Mo Cheeks on the other bench. Pat Riley, before the game, was telling us the one area he wants to see some improvement in with this Miami team right off the bat is rebounding, and they come out with that 27-11.
Yeah, they've had a huge advantage, you know, and sometimes when you get too concentrated on stopping the stars as Wade operates on the baseline and gets his first hoop to go in, you then forget about the other parts of the game. Cheeks is up, and he's telling his guys, well, first he's talking to the officials, we got to get some calls too. But you can't let Wade get this kind of position and think that you're going to be able to stop him. D'Alembert picks up the personal foul.
And that's 3 on him. Wade completing the three-point play. D. Wade now with 19 points tonight. Wade averaging 26.7.
If you're Iverson and company, you got to know that 15 is a lead that can be overcome, but you got to start doing some things at both ends of the floor to make it happen. Korver wide open.
And Korver has struggled from three-point range throughout the game as Wade attacks again down the lane, sets up an open look for Posey. Weber the rebound. Iverson over Payton.
What they have done tonight is the Miami Heat has done a good job of getting back so that Iverson hasn't had the seams to operate in. They try to force it inside the Shaq. Almost turned it over.
Deflection, and then Wade nearly re-stole it. Here goes AI. Knocked down, and Allen Iverson will get to the line. Shaq called for the foul. That's 3 on O'Neal.
The one thing that Riley didn't want was to see Shaq pick up his third, but once Shaq was trailing, Iverson knew what he wanted to do, and that was get into the paint. Shaq ran him down.
Allen Iverson in the first half tonight, 6 of 14. As Shaq talks it over with Pat Frayer, the official. Say fans, vote now. Go to NBA.com and cast your ballot for the 2006 All-Star Game in Houston.
Well, at least that wasn't short from Iverson, so he's improving, at least in his technique, his makes. Now he's 3 of 8.
And a 15-point game, and as I mentioned, 6 of 14 from the field for Iverson, whose 45% field goal percentage this year is not the highest he ever had for a season. He shot 46 one year, but when you look at that .418 career mark, O'Neal's surrounded, and the Sixers get the block and the ball.
Well, Shaq has made up his mind. He was going to shoot that one, and no matter what the defense did, he was getting that one up.
Webber cleared by Haslam.
You know, sometimes if you make an incorrect read as an offensive player, you get bad results. Good read by Payton right down the lane. They don't stop the ball. 16-point lead.
And Gary Payton now with 2 field goals, 4 points scored. 17 has been the biggest lead for the Heat.
But if you're the Sixers, you got to chip away. You got to take advantage of the fact that you can score. How did that happen? O'Neal gets knocked down. It's an 8 count.
And it's the 4th foul on Samuel Dallenberg. Stephen Hunter hustling into the game for the Sixers to replace him.
You know, Shaq hates floppers. Did he flop? And his big complaint whenever he used to play against Vlade Divac was, he's a flopper, man. Real men don't flop. Oh, that was a flop. We got to save this for the archives. Run it back. You can't weigh 340 pounds to get knocked down like that.
Miami Heat looking to claim their largest lead of the game. They go into the big guy. And O'Neal called for a walk.
You know, the fans behind us, they got to look at that, and, you know, they're riled up anyway. So now this just gives them more cannon fodder to get all over the officials. But Shaq slow out of the gate here after a great first half.
With Lisa Saltus and Steve Snapper Jones, I'm Jim Durham. Glad to have you with us tonight from the Wachovia Center, the first of 2 on ESPN. The second game tonight from Los Angeles, the Lakers and the Wizards. And Korver continues to struggle from 3-point range.
You know, that's been the story for Korver this season as Iverson hits, is that he is either really good or he's very bad, and he's having one of those bad efforts tonight.
76ers come back to within 14.
Iguodala, who's a very good defender, when we were in here and he locked up Kobe Bryant, he's not going to have that kind of success as Payton drops a 3 in against Wade. Wade is already going. Bryant never got going that night.
That's 7 3-point field goals for Miami tonight, the first for Payton. And they have equaled their largest lead at 17.
20 minutes left in the game for Iguodala and the Sixers, and it can't be one pass and a shot. They've got to move that Miami Heat defense. They got to make them defend.
Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal with his first 2 of the second half, 17 in the game, and the Heat now have opened up their biggest lead with 8:32 left in the third. A timeout taken. A 10-3 run by the Heat out of the box here in the second half. Pat Riley and the Heat opening up a 19-point lead early in this third quarter. Well, Pat Riley's had some great big men in his coaching career.
You know, never is enough said about Abdul-Jabbar. 73% of the time, Pat Riley run with him. 8 All-Star appearances, 4 for Ewing and 5 for Alonzo Mourning. But anytime you have that kind of quality in the middle, you ought to be a great coach.
So what you're saying is Riley or whomever perhaps could have put up similar numbers.
Well, you saw what happened when he didn't have them. He put up some disastrous numbers, you know. Iguodala wanted to call to it and get it. Now, you know, the toughest thing about Philly's situation right now is they can't score the ball. And if you're not scoring the ball, it affects your defensive energy. And so they're flattened out at both ends of the floor right now, and they got to find a way to dig in and get in it.
Riley, NBA record, 17 seasons you saw there in that graphic, a 19-point lead. That foul on Haslam was his 3rd. And now he's talking to the young official. Back on defense, guarding Weber.
You know, but that's a staggering number when you think about it. 50 wins, 17 seasons. You know, thank God for big guys.
Iguodala making the move. And a foul called on the Miami Heat. You know, Riley is known for his practices, which can be rather lengthy and rather challenging. And it'll be interesting, a lot of these guys going through that for the first time. Now, what's happened in this first week since he took over, they've been so busy they haven't been able to get on the practice court.
Yeah, they hope the schedule stays that way, because, you know, Riley likes to stay out there for 3.5 hours. just to see how you feel about practice, you know. We might go 4 if things aren't going well.
But they've won the first 2, and they're ahead by 19 in game 3 with about 7.5 left in the third quarter. And they have not been a good road club, although their 2 wins have come on the road.
Well, it's a lot tougher to win when one of your big weapons is down, and that is Shaquille O'Neal. Once O'Neal is out on the floor, the entire game is played differently, and that is what we're seeing tonight. Randolph.
Shaq picks it off. 5 minutes having been played here in the third.
You know, for the Sixers, they want to see it Brown. They want to see some misses. They want to be able to corral the ball and get in the open court and make some plays. Iguodala looking for Korver. They're saying, John, please, just one time.
That's a 3 for Korver, his second of the game. Korver, who was 1 for 7 prior to that hit. And both field goals, of course, from 3-point range as Wade leaves it for Haslem. And Udonis Haslem capable of hitting that jumper.
You know, Haslem is the luckiest guy in the world to be on this team with Wade and O'Neal. All they have to do is shoot open jumpers all the time. So all they have to do is knock them down, and the coach will always stay happy with them. Iverson.
O'Neal picks off the rebound. A huge rebounding edge for the Miami Heat tonight from the very start on. And Payton off the drive gets tripped up. A foul call. Gary Payton to the line.
Randolph tried to take that charge, didn't get set. Shaq comes out of the ball game. Alonzo Mourning comes back in. So, you know, in Riley's good fortune, before Alonzo Mourning went down, he was one of those centers that helped him win a lot of the time. And he is back out on the floor. This year, he's more of a defensive force than he is an offensive force, but he has been blocking shots like he was 21 years old.
That's 7 minutes in the first half tonight. Payton with the 2 free throws has come to life here in the second half. That's 7 points for him. And a 20-point lead for Miami. Iguodala look away feed to Weber. Weber with 4 hoops working.
Their goal is to get 10 points off this lead. How they do it, we don't know, because so far in this ball game, they've not been able to control the ball or the guy at the point of attack. Randolph will pick up another foul. Anytime you're having trouble defending, it's because the ball is moving too freely. Guys have been able to cut. They're able to get shots wide open, and that's been the story so far through the first 24, now 30 minutes of the game.
Hey, you know what? You're looking at the best free throw shooter on the Heat right there in Udonis Haslem, and he bounces that first one in. Tomorrow on NBA TV, the Pacers and the Knicks coverage starts at 7. Doubleheader on TNT Thursday. The Cavs and Bulls in Chicago, followed by Dallas at Sacramento. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Haslem with 4 1/4, 8 in the game.
And the Heat back to a 20-point lead. They'll be in Cleveland tomorrow on a back cut to Iguodala, the pass broken up.
Good idea. One of the things about Weber is his ability to find cutters, and they may have to go through Chris Webber a little bit more to get other people involved in the game here in the remaining 17 minutes of play. Korver.
Off the inbounds.
I got it now.
Korver's got it. He's got it locked on.
He's got the iron in his hand. Back-to-back makes for Korver.
And 8 points working in the game. But the Miami Heat still comfortably in front and very much in control of this game. Payton missing on a wild one. Randolph ahead to Iverson. Iverson with a lob to Iguodala. And the 76ers string a couple of hoops together. And with that, Miami asks for time. 4:42 for the third.
One thing that Iverson and Iguodala have is great eye contact, and they've done this many times. And Iguodala's short time here, but the result has always been the same: 2 hands and a hammer.
Allen Iverson obviously not 7 feet, but he's got 17 points tonight. And the 76ers against Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal unable to get any traction, Steve Jones, and get back in this game.
Yeah, and up here in Philadelphia where the weather has been so inclement, they would need some traction. But, you know, what they need is the defensive energy to be picked up so they make it difficult for Alonzo Mourning and company to score. When they're moving the ball like that and dumping it inside, there's no way they can get back in the game.
Those are the first 2 points for Alonzo. Back to an 8-point lead for the Heat. They've been up by as many as 20. Korver.
With Posey in the
working
game
with Weber
to try to keep Kyle Korver from making his 3rd straight field goal.
5 to shoot. Korver. Randolph on a reload. Everything being contested now by the Heat.
I'll tell you, these fans are vicious. Disgusting look. We got to do better than that. We can't win this game if we don't do it this way. But they've got to be able to control the guy with the ball, and they haven't done it tonight. Haslem wide open, but misses out.
So the Philadelphia fans in the city of brotherly love, that I guess is for everyone except the local athletes, right?
No love.
Oh, Randolph on the follow.
I mean, they are just thirsting for reasons to cheer for this team, but the Sixers haven't given them much tonight. But again, there's a little bit of hope. And Miami will let you back in the game if you'll get after them. Right now, no pressure on the ball, and they're able to move it wherever they want it. They look for Dwayne Wade.
And that would be a good guy to look for as Payton, with 3 on the shot clock, goes all the way through. And a foul called on the 76ers.
Well, that might have been their best effort as Iguodala frowns and saying, come on, you know, I need a little help here. I'm guarding Dwayne Wade. You just can't let him get a little nick, and the next thing you know, he's down. Bad news. Shaq returning. Shevlik, Randolph over the top makes a statement. Coach, play me more. I will get you more rebounds.
14 to shoot for the Heat coming in. It comes in Posey to Fitch, who is back.
And now look at how small Randolph looks against Shaq as they try to get it inside. 5 on the clock.
And Posey missing the 3, but Haslem the offensive rebound.
Watch out.
Right back inside to Wade. Some setup from Fitch to Dwayne Wade. A back to the rack, 2 hands, throw down.
So not only do you not get the rebound, you get punished by Wade. Iverson.
And you get punished with style points as well. Allen Iverson has 8 hoops tonight.
They put Weber over on O'Neal to get a turnover.
Trying to find a cutter. The Sixers come away with it. 2:10 for the 3rd.
Nice pass.
Right at the rim is Weber. Good setup by Iguodala.
Well, they've had a greater success offensively in transition before the Heat defense gets a chance to set up. Down
14.
Yeah.
And you said 10.
That's all they want. Good effort by Iguodala, but the Heat will get it back. He is working hard. He is really working hard at trying to keep Dwayne Wade off the ball. But, you know, when your guy has this much time, he can spot the high-flying Dwayne Wade for the catch and the drop. You know, no pressure on the passer will result in an easy score.
150 for the 3rd as the Heat come in to Wade. Wade through a crowd, somehow found his way to the rim.
You know, he changes directions so quickly in so many different ways. It's tough to deal with that.
Iverson. Allen Iverson starting to heat up.
Need to deal with this. He's got 7. Wade's got 7 in the quarter.
21 for Iverson in the game. Fitch to the big fella. Out to Walker.
You know, they're collapsing, trying to give so much help around Shaq. It's making everything else vulnerable, and he muscles that in anyway.
And Shaq has 19 working. Just a minute left in the third. Iverson fouled by Fitch out on the perimeter. 2 fouls on Gerald Fitch. First in the last 2 minutes, sideline out of bounds. For the Sixers with 17 to shoot. These cheeks. Crowd on the sidelines for the 76ers, and back in Jason Capono for Miami. Wade goes out, and this is what Pat Riley was talking to us about before the game. This is where he likes to make the substitution for Wade. He, only wants him out a couple minutes here and there, but he would like to use it just before the quarter break.
Well, he's still going to end up playing 38 to 40 minutes a game. Iverson with 8 on the clock.
And Iguodala swoops to the hoop and draws the foul. And that is 4 fouls on Shaquille O'Neal. And now the crowd at the Wachovia Center picking up.
One thing about Iguodala, he can get up in the air and he comes around and across, and I don't know why centers always just stand there with their hands up. They're going to get called for the foul anyway, so you may as well just go and try and get the ball.
Shaq's coming out. Alonzo Mourning.
You see Riley's over there. He's telling the official, you didn't see him with his hands up. He touched nobody. How many times does that work? Ooh.
Iggy.
No Iggy popped that. Korver out of the ball game. Matt Barnes is dead. O'Neal down. Both of them down, sitting next together saying, well, we got this. I'm 16. They may not need us the rest of the night.
Oh, I think they'll need them the rest of the night. 15 for 20, 16 for 24 for Philadelphia from the line.
Iggy gets 1 of 2.
A quiet house, but a big one here at the Wachovia Center. Walker.
Yeah, they came in anticipating a better effort, and they just haven't gotten it on a consistent basis. Weber and Randolph blocked that shot.
2-for-1 deal here, perhaps, for the 76ers. Iverson.
You know it's going to be something.
Underneath Randolph. Barnes with his first touch. And it's a 13-point lead for Miami. The Heat with a chance at the final say here in the third. Capono.
They were up by, the Heat were up by 12 at the break, so it's been a 1-point advantage for Miami. Walker looking for the last shot of the quarter.
And with 2.4, Walker delivers. And now from midcourt, Iguodala short and wide left as the third quarter comes to an end. Well, they didn't get it down to 10. But remember, they were down by 20.
Well, they were down by 20. They still have a shot at getting back in the game, and Allen Iverson is going to have to be the guy to bring them back. Riley is hoping that Shaq doesn't foul out of the ball game, but we'll find out as the fourth is in front of him. And I will be where there's real snow. You, on the other hand, will pretend that there's snow in Miami. Iverson, Weber, Randolph, Korver, and Barnes start the fourth. So now, if you're Miami, put some pressure on that ball and see if you can force a turnover and continue to build on the lead. Looking for Weber against Walker.
To open the fourth. That's what they've got. 10 to shoot. See Webb. Randolph against Mourning. What a job defending down low by Alonzo Mourning, and a loose ball foul called on the Sixers. It's on Matt Barnes, the first on Barnes, and of course the first team foul on Philadelphia.
Weber is saying, how did I get on my back? I got pushed. Nobody saw it. We got to have some calls here. We got 11:37 to go. We got to get this game. They've been up and down, the 76ers, all year long. They dropped their first 3. They came back and won 6 in a row and got command of the Atlantic Division. Weber's going to get a call there on Dwayne Wade.
Something which doesn't take a lot of effort, getting command of the Atlantic Division.
Are you disparaging my
The Atlantic Division should not be confused with the Central Division, as you see just one team over the 500 mark, whereas in the Central, everybody's over the 500 mark.
I think you're trying to tell me something. Iverson bumping his way in. Mourning comes and gets it.
But Randolph comes out with a loose ball and sets up Korver. Boy, he had a good look at that three. A pass in close quarters, nearly stolen, and now the 76ers down to 16 as Weber delivers.
Well, that's a shot that Weber's going to be able to get off every single time against the defensive Antoine Walker. So they need to think about Weber a little bit more here in the fourth.
And they get the steal. Now the 76ers with a chance to cut it to 11.
Remember what Cheek said to us before the game. I like Chevrolet Randolph because he gives us a spark, and he has given them a spark tonight. Well, I mean, they are on Korver tonight.
Iverson coming back to Weber. Walker closed out, 5 to shoot. Weber to the rim. Weber has 17, and the Miami lead is down to 11. A 19-10 run by the Sixers. 2 minutes into the fourth.
Watch out.
As Wade turned, they called a foul on Barnes.
Well, Barnes went back to give help and got caught, but this is Chris Webber with one of his favorite inside moves, a little jump hook inside, and then Webber dances by Walker, got a little skip in there and got away with it, and throw it down.
Here goes Wade to the rim and draws the foul.
I'll tell you what, this guy gets bounced around and bounces back up more than any player in the league right now. Dwayne Wade.
Maybe with the exception of the three on the other team.
That's true, too. Iverson takes a lot of hits, you know. It's a cumulative pain that both of them go through.
Weber called for the foul. That's his second.
But you've got to get control of Wade before he puts that ball on the ground, because he's changing direction as he comes at you at the line this evening.
You know, I've always thought that as Wade hits the first of two, that guys like Wade and Iverson attacking the rim the way they do, it's almost like the football equivalent to tough yards, when late in the game you just stick it in the belly of that running back.
Yes.
And especially the running back that you cheer for.
The bus did you in, didn't it?
Iverson has it set out by Mourning, but to Korver. And now Iverson fouled and scores the basket. Wade called for the foul.
Now the energy of the 76ers has picked up, and the fans here are picking up as well, but that is an Iverson special to get this hit. Oh! And then realize I got to get this away.
The 76ers making a stand here in the fourth quarter with 9:37 left.
Can't make a free throw tonight.
The rebound. Iverson has really struggled from the line, but Philadelphia as a team has been very short from the free throw line.
Now, if you're the 76ers, you got to get the ball out of Dwayne Wade's hand. Don't let him come and create. Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at who's out there with him, and you know that there's not a lot of people that can hurt you if you make them shoot under pressure. Fitch, Capono, Walker, Mourning.
And that was the first field goal in the fourth quarter for the Heat. Iverson again. Oh, yeah. Allen Iverson drawing the foul on Fitch. Iverson with 25, 4 so far in the fourth.
Well, two tough shots. He takes the hit and continues on a little bit closer in, but the same kind of effort. The crowd responds to Randolph, who did a sensational job of just giving him some energy, some hustle plays. Korver down, Iguodala back in the game. So it is Barnes, Iguodala, Iverson, Weber, and Dellenberg out on the floor for the Sixers in white.
You're right about that free throw shooting. 3 of 9, 4 of 10 for Iverson, and 26 points. And The 10 is as close, a 10-point difference there on the screen is the closest the Sixers have been since trailing by 20.
And you scoffed at me that they would not get there. Let's see if they can continue to get it to roll. Capono.
Those threes were dropping for the Heat earlier tonight.
Oh, he's got some life now. Watch out for that guy.
Weber.
A little bit too quick on that shot for Chris Webber. He was wide open. Could have delivered a better effort that time.
Dwayne Wade doubled up. It leaves Walker open for 3. 2 in a row missed from three-point range by the Heat.
Iguodala was looking for Iverson. He wanted to get that thing and get another lob.
Here goes Iverson. And as he got to the baseline, he got pushed. So a foul on Miami. And a timeout taken. Don't go away. We got us a ball game now. The Sixers are back to within 10. And Chris Webber and Allen Iverson have performed brilliantly in the second half of the 76ers.
Well, Allen Iverson is almost equal to the number that Dwayne Wade has thrown up. He's had to work a little bit harder. Weber has equaled what Shaquille O'Neal has thrown down. The difference in the ball game is not the stars, but it is the guys that have played in reserve, and Miami is winning because of them.
Now let's check in with Lisa Salters.
Well, guys, Allen Iverson said that the biggest reason that he and Chris Webber have been so successful this season is because they had a chance to go through training camp together. He said that the chemistry has always been great from day one, but people expected them from the very beginning to play like they had been playing together for years, and he says it's not that easy. The fact that they've gone through training camp, he said, now gives them a chance to really do what they're doing best. They're leading the league right now as the high-scoring duo.
And Maurice Cheeks told us, Snapper, before the game that he thinks because of Weber, that's the reason why Iverson's field goal percentage is up. Iverson again.
He's 6th in the league in steals and picked the pocket of the glove. He's got 7 1/4.
And 28 in the game, and the Sixers are back to within 8.
But again, when you score the ball, you see a different level of energy at the defensive end. Iguodala trying to keep Wade from getting going, and they get that one knocked away. 8 on the shot clock. Shaq back at the scoring table.
And O'Neal comes for Mourning. Shaquille O'Neal with 19 points and 9 rebounds so far in the game.
Can't let that happen. Although they were lucky.
Can't miss it either. And as Shaq came down with a rebound, a foul called. The foul on Dallenberg.
Dallenberg has got 5. You know, the thing that happened was no one reacted to the short shot from Dwayne Wade. Wade normally drops that down over the top, and Shaq rolled in and picked it back up. They didn't want to throw down, but they're on a run right now.
Maurice Cheeks opting to keep Dallenberg in the game with 7:25 left. Shaq in deep. Weber on it. They repost. And it's tipped in by Walker.
Everybody has got to get somebody. Once that ball goes in the air, you got to try to make sure that the Heat don't get a second shot. 10-point game.
And Korver sticks a 3. It's a 7-point game. 3 threes for Kyle Korver. But I tell you what, if the Sixers don't successfully come back, they only have to look to that rebounding column in the stat sheet to find out what the real problem was tonight. They get a rebound here.
Watch out.
Korver. Iverson turns it in. And it's knocked out of bounds by the Heat.
Just when I was going to get in the game, Shevlik Randolph was at the scoring table, and Jesse was approaching. Cheeks pulls him back. Want to get one more offensive pop here.
Iguodala will make the inbounds. They come in with a full 24.
He thinks that he can get one for Dallenberg, but they almost turn it over. Dellenberre's he's got 5 fouls, and Cheeks knows he's got to get him out of the game.
Allen Iverson against Payton. Here goes AI. And he draws the foul on Payton. 2 fouls on Payton.
The glove cannot contain penetration like he used to when he was young, and Allen Iverson, you know, once he took that hit from Dwayne Wade, that woke him up. He's on it now, and he's been tracking people saying, who wants some of this?
He's now 5 of 11 from the free throw line as both teams now are over the foul limit. Korver going out. Matt Barnes returning, number 21 for the Sixers. And Iverson shooting for his 30th point as Philadelphia again has cut it to 5.
9 in the quarter for Allen Iverson, and the fans are now calling for Hack-a-Shaq. Throw him on the line. It's too early. All they got to do is continue to try to contain defensively and keep Dwayne Wade from matching what Iverson is throwing at him. Here comes Wade.
Payton with the left hand, and the rebound cleared by the Sixers. Iverson on the push. Weber, a lob to Dellenberre. And it's out of bounds to Miami.
Well, that's when you get too happy. All you have to do is make the simple play in transition. You get a score. They try to get a little bit too cute. They turn it over. But Philly is in the kitchen now, and they want to cook and they want to close here at the Wachovia.
They have scored 16 of the last 22. Big comeback working here in Philadelphia after trailing by 20. The Sixers are back to within 5, and Allen Iverson, with 9 in the quarter, has outscored Miami by himself.
9-6, and he is now the leading scorer in the ball game, and he is doing what great scorers do, try to close this one out. They put the ball in the hands of Antoine Walker to set the table and make some more plays. Wade has 4 points.
That's Posey missing the 3. O'Neal the rebound.
And Walker has the other 2. Let's see if they start living off of Shaq.
Antoine Walker hitting the 3-pointer. That's his second 3 tonight.
Now the thing about a comeback is you have to catch your opponent and go by. So the 76ers cannot get happy being within 5 or 7 points. They got to continue to roll, and they got to get on top of the scoreboard. Iverson got hit and will go back to the line.
Payton picking up the personal foul. 3 on him.
You know what he's saying? When I was the glove, I got that. Now you're telling me the glove is unzipped. But Walker, with that 3, gives Riley a little relief.
Well, it's wintertime. Perhaps he's got mittens on. As Iverson misses the free throw.
And the difference between mittens and gloves?
Well, you don't have the, when you have the gloves, you got your fingers that you can work with.
Oh, I see. Iverson misses the first.
31 for Iverson.
10 and a quarter. So he opened with 10. He's got 10 now. But there's plenty of time. 7-point lead. Uh-oh. Can't have that.
You can't have that from a defensive end, as Dwayne Wade has 10 field goals tonight.
Weren't they just cheering a moment ago, and then the guy turns the corner and they boo him? It's tough to keep that guy in front of you.
29 points for Wade. Shot clock at 17. Dellenberre over Shaq. Walker covers up on the rebound for the Heat.
Yeah, these fans. No. Don't throw it to him. Don't throw it to him.
Wait a minute. Mike Callahan.
Clock did start.
Over toward the scorer's table. It's still got the shot clock still has 24 seconds up there. And they want to make sure that they get the game clock and the shot clock operating, as you see Dwayne Wade operate right there.
You know, once he turned that corner, Iguodala could not get his feet moving quickly enough, and Wade punished him. 9-point lead. I mean, and the 76ers have to think, okay, 4:34, let's get this down to the 4 or 5 point mark, around the 3-minute mark, and you got a chance to pull this game out. You don't want to let a time elapse. Randolph coming in the game, the crowd cheering for him. They want D'Alembert to go out, but he can't come out. It's official timeout. You can't put him in.
I think what's happened here, you know, they switched the matchup. They put Weber on Shaq when D'Alembert got his 5th foul, and now D'Alembert is having to defend Antoine Walker out on the perimeter, and, you know, Mo Cheeks didn't like the looks of that. Here's Walker on a 3-ball.
That's the shot you want him taking. You know, he's not a great percentage shooter from outside, so if you can get him looking that way.
Kyle Korver going into Weber.
Well, Weber wants to go to his right, and he has to come back to his left hand. 3 times, 4 times.
And finally, the ball claimed by Miami. Walker spinning in, under to Wade.
Well, there has been the separation right there. Dwayne Wade reawakens. He's got 8 1/4, 31 in the ball game.
And a timeout taken by the 76ers. And that comeback, which looked so promising a moment ago, now with 2 hoops by Dwayne Wade, looks like it's going to fall short. Thanks, John. And here's Pat Riley.
I have a responsibility to this team and to the players that I traded for, picked, signed. And I think right now at this moment that I'm the best person to do that.
Hey, let's say, Snapper, that all things break right for Miami the rest of the way. Can they win a championship with this team?
You know, there's a big roadblock ahead of them. The Detroit Pistons. And, you know, we could have a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Final, but, you know, the difference maker for both of those teams will be health. Right now, Detroit has a decided edge in terms of their confidence, the way that they're playing. Flip Saunders has them playing at a level that they could only dream about right now. Iverson misses the first.
And the struggle continues for AI from the foul line. 7 for 15.
Well, he's got to get this one. Now they cut it back to a 10-point gain, get themselves a couple of stops, and they're back in it. That's a tough miss.
Shaq trying to keep it alive, but it was last touch by Weber. So Miami ball with 3:39 left.
It's always tough to get past the opponent when you've been down at the bottom of the hill, and that's been the objective for the 76ers. So they got to come up with something easy here, but they got to keep Dwayne Wade under control. Shaq has not been the story in the second half.
Shaq,
only 4 points.
And 19 for the game off the dive cut. Walker. Sixers out, needing a hoop. Iverson. Underneath Weber. We've seen Weber elevate a couple of times tonight. That's certainly a change from his game last year.
Well, you know, he's getting healthier. You know, he'll never be able to elevate like he did when he was younger because of the surgeries and the knee problem, but he can be a factor still.
And here comes Iverson. As the pass went to Randolph, a Miami foul call. It's on Posey. That's 3 on him, and Randolph to the free throw line.
Even though Riley has lost his voice, he's got enough voice to say, you know, my guys are getting hit at the other end. I got to have some of these calls right now. Randolph.
Randolph is now 4 for 9 from the line on the season. So one of their poorer free throw shooters making the first. Iverson, who has been terrific from the foul line all season, really struggling with his free throws tonight.
Well, it started in the first half and continued on when he made that big run here in the fourth. He was dropping the free throws. It is now a 7-point game.
Sixers trying to dig in defensively.
This is the guy they got to shut down. They cannot let him rock and roll.
Shaq with the rebound, but a foul called on the 76ers as Weber is whistled for the foul. He had O'Neal locked up.
It was the right call. Shaq spun, got the inside position. Weber knew that if he got the ball, it was going to be a throwdown. Put him on the line, see if he can get the job done from there. But you see him lock up, and watch him when he comes out of there. He's pulling with both hands to try to get the big fella away from the ball.
Shaq is 1 for 2 tonight, and for the season, that's about right. 52%.
Well, remember, he did make a game-saving free throw to get him in overtime against the Wizards. So, you know, he's always going to stick with that line. I'll make them when they count.
They count right now. His team up by 8, trying to lock it up. And it's a lane violation, so O'Neal gets another attempt. Well, Shaq, over the last 18 minutes on the court, has been very quiet tonight.
3 points. That's all he has been able to muster in that amount of time after a terrific start.
When Shaq shoots the free throws, it's almost like that old Globetrotter routine. You know, he has that little hitch, and guys are jumping into the lane.
Hesitation. Mittens, Globetrotters, anything else in that old bag of yours? Got the bounce. So those two hurt, lead back to 9.
And 2.5 left.
And Riley is saying, make sure you guard Korver. Don't let him launch a 3. They've just got to get good shots. Weber with a miss.
That's pretty good. Weber with a nice bounce. So C. Webb has 23 in the game and averages 19.5. He's got 10 in this quarter. Wade with a pitch out to Posey. And the ball deflected out by Philadelphia. 11 on the shot clock for Miami. Timeout. 2:05 for regulation. The 76ers still hanging around.
What? Shaquille O'Neal did this a lot last year, working on his conditioning. He sprints back and covers the lane after a fortunate bounce.
And in the Wachovia Center, 20,652 have watched Wade and Iverson duel it out, 31 points apiece.
They almost matched their numbers from the first meeting. The Heat won the game. Wade had 33, Iverson had 32 in defeat. The guys that are doing all the scoring in the quarter for them are Wade and Walker. Wade with the ball.
5 to shoot. It's Walker launching and hitting a 3. Antoine Walker with his 3rd three-pointer tonight.
Ouch! That one hurt. 8 in the quarter for him. 10-point game. Iverson trying to let some time tick off before he picks it up.
Iverson defended by Payton. This is Korver. Walker covers up on the rebound, and right now it looks like Miami is going to have a 4-game winning streak going to Cleveland for the final game of their road trip tomorrow night. And the 76ers will have their 4-game winning streak halted. Weber wraps up Shaq.
Well, that Walker three-pointer was a dagger, and all of the fans here at the Wachovia sensed it since they didn't come back down and score themselves. Shaq will go to the line, and the fans are beginning to file for the exit. You can see Walker with a good look at it. He bounces 2 or 3 times, and he says, you know what? That ought to do it.
Shaq missing on the first of 2. O'Neal 3 of 5 from the line.
But the Sixers can look at 2 areas for the loss in this ball game. Lack of rebounding and the inability to make free throws.
So a timeout taken. The 76ers down 20 early in the second half, came back to within 5, and now trail by 10 with this timeout coming at the 1:33 mark.
The fourth quarter has been dominated by 2 players for the Miami Heat. Antoine Walker and Dwayne Wade inside and outside, and that's been enough to keep the 76ers at bay. Walker showing his playmaking ability and a little extra run from Dwayne Wade, but Walker again. This one was really one that bruised. They put him up by 10. 76ers have the ball. 93 seconds left in this.
It's Korver making the inbounds for Philly as he comes into Weber. Iverson with it now. Iverson over Payton.
If you are Miami, what you want to do is get possession of the ball. Use 24 seconds every possession, and you cannot lose the game.
So if they took shot clock violation each possession, they win.
They win. You're running the clock down now, and Wade is coming at you with a full head of steam, posing.
On an open three, Shaq the rebound. And the Philadelphia 76ers dominated on the glass tonight. Out-rebounded 47-31. Randolph picking up the foul. Walker to the line.
Now Walker is no block at the free throw line. But he is shooting the ball relatively well from deep, so his confidence would be up. But there's a guy under pressure you'd like to see at the free throw line. His free throwing has gotten progressively worse through the years.
53%. That's Shaq-like.
Yeah.
15-point game for Antoine Walker.
1 of 2. 9 in the fourth, though. Big fourth quarter for Walker.
And Payton came up the floor to make Iverson pick up the ball and get the clock started. Allen Iverson not there. Randolph with the follow. 45 seconds. It's Payton in the backcourt. Now Wade. Ahead to Payton. The Heat playing keep away, and Korver comes over to take the foul.
There are certain guys you want to catch the ball if you're going to foul him. Shaq would be one. Walker would be the other. And they don't let either one of them get their hands on it. And so Payton will go to the line.
82% on the season. Payton on the line tonight. He made his first 2 in the first half, and now he's got a 10-point game working. Haslam in, O'Neal out.
I would have made Shaq stay out there. There's no sense in worrying about Shaq, hack a Shaq now. 38 seconds left in the game. Haslam in, O'Neal down. Payton 1 of 2.
And so the Sixers in possession, down by 8. Iverson. And going in, the ball knocked out of bounds by Miami. Wow. Allen Iverson has missed 9 free throws tonight. That's the most he has ever missed in a game. And remember, early on tonight, he injured his thumb.
Yeah, that affected him, but he was short early. Then he finally got into it. As they have 30 seconds left in the game and not sure what they want to do, as they look to Iverson.
Acrobatic move by Allen Iverson.
14 in the quarter for Allen Iverson.
And now with 20 seconds left, Wade fouled in the backcourt. That's the first foul tonight on Allen Iverson. Dwayne Wade going to the line. He is 9 of 11 tonight.
Wade has been tremendous in terms of his offensive efficiency tonight. You know, he is at 31 now, a chance to get to 33.
A little light with that first one.
You're so nice to some people. You never say it's a little light with Shaq.
Does Shaq do anything that's light? When Shaq gets up in the morning and the feet hit the floor, is that light? 20-second timeout taken, but it's been a good return for Shaquille O'Neal since coming back from his injury, and it looks like the Heat are about to lock up win number 4 in a row and move on to Cleveland to take on LeBron James and the Cavaliers tomorrow night. And also waiting for them will be their former teammate Damon Jones, who had a big game last night, scoring 17 for the Cavs in a win over Denver.
Well, Damon Jones is going to have a bigger game in order for them to defeat the Miami Heat. You know, one of the things that, you know, Shaq's presence does is it breaks down your defense And that is not the strength of Damon Jones.
.6 remaining. And most of the crowd of 20,652 filing out.
They hung with the 76ers until about 2 minutes left in the game, and when that Walker 3 went in, they knew that this one was in the books, and 76ers right now working on last game minute type of plays, because there's no way they're going to get this. 18 seconds left in the game.
Weber sent that 3 into the waiting hands of Antoine Walker. A foul on Randolph. Payton back to the line, less than 10 seconds left now. So the 76ers will be back at the 500 mark at 12-12. And Pat Riley and the Heat will move to 14-10. And the other thing about this game, oftentimes it's overlooked when it happens early in the season, but this win by Miami clinches the season series with Philadelphia. It's just a 3-game series this year, and the Heat will have the first 2. Wade going out with Fitch coming in.
Tremendous game by Dwayne Wade, and he just was relentless and kept the pressure on, helped his team build a big lead. Iverson comes out of the ball game.
The Heat going home after the Cleveland game. They've got Atlanta on the 20th, and the Hawks win again tonight.
Big win for the Hawks tonight. 122 points, high score in the league. Williams in the ball game, going to get some.
Lewis Williams. Nope, but Randolph on the follow. And with 4 seconds left, Miami throws it inbounds and runs off the clock. So the Heat survive a furious comeback by the 76ers as they at one time led by 20. They led by 20, and Philadelphia came back to within 5 at 95-90. 112-105 the final. For more on this game, tune to ESPN News. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Lisa Salters and Steve Jones, Jim Durham saying so long. Now, let's head out to Los Angeles. And here's Mike Green.